Hello everybody and welcome to the latest and greatest and the shiniest GOON Brigade podcast. This week we'll be going live into last week with an interview with Haddock, who we discover is a wonderful captain, a very strange man and somewhat lacking in the humanity department. We will be having an in-depth discussion for all of our millions and millions of trialists who apparently have signed up after MASH has been pestering them in a very inappropriate way. Discussion about the GOON Brigade, our organisation, what to expect, how to not do it wrong and not get shouted at, and how to survive on the battlefield. And we'll probably devolve into a whinging mass about how SOE broke our game in their latest 3 patches. So to help me through with this, I brought in 2 of our regular contributors. I have the Air Squadron leader, Mike Numbers.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. And also this week we have with us Desolation, who is one of our community managers, website forum manager type guys who you really don't want to annoy because he'll probably ban you again, or I think it was hypothermia. And he's with us this week all the way from the land of Nod.
What's up guys? Yeah, I am actually here. You probably haven't seen me around, I've been away, but myself and Hypothermia wield the ban hammers for the website and the forums. But you know, no need to be afraid of us, we're good laughs. So yeah, see you guys later.
And I have the man who killed everybody on Tribes, apparently single-handedly. I have Greedy.
Hello. And I'm not that good at Tribes.
That's not what people told me. Or should I say Slacky told me.
He can't ski for shit.
Greedy, we will have a chat about this later.
Okay guys, so what we're going to do this week is we're going to go slightly different. We're not going to talk about updates because SOE just can't update it because they can't stop breaking the game. We're going to talk to the trialists. We're going to talk to the new members, everybody who's in TeamSpeak with an R next to their name. This is where you need to wake up, put the gun down, and pay attention. We're going to talk to you about, you know, almost hold your hand through the whole process of joining this large mass of complete lunatics with guns and finding your way through your first couple of weeks without being shouted at by probably me. So, first thing you do, you get accepted, you get approved, you think, yes, I'm a trialist. Read the fucking approved post. Click on all the links in it and sign off on the mandatory reads. If you don't do that, you will be found out and I probably will nail your scrotum to your head and punch you through it.
That's a bit harsh.
That's the first thing.
He means in a loving kind of way.
It's an affectionate kind of way. It's to improve you, to stop you sucking. Also, if you're better, it means you won't get everybody else dead. Now, what you need to realise with the Goons is we are predominantly infantry. And that means you are going to be a heavy. Because the heavy is the best infantry unit in the game. And to talk you through why you need to be a heavy, and the reasoning behind the heavy class in the Goons being such a prominent class, I'm going to hand over to Greedy, and he's going to talk you through all the nuances. Isn't that right, Greedy?
Yes. So, as he said, as Sloppy said just now, the heavy assault is what we use the most. And why it's so predominant? It's because, for the first, you have a rocket launcher, and the rocket launcher kills pretty much everything you pointed at. Be it infantry, max, or Galaxy even, or ESF, or most importantly, Sunder. Because it's all nice and good when you kill a lot of people, but if you don't take out the enemy support, they will keep pouring in. That's where rocket launcher comes in, just to kill them. And
you're not talking a specific rocket launcher, are you? You're talking any rocket launcher that'll hit armor.
Pretty much, yes. Because the rocket launchers do heavy damage against them, and you take them out from range, and you don't have to sacrifice your life or fail dozens of times to kill a Sunder or a tank. You just put your rockets at them and keep firing. As long as it hits, you're gonna kill it. That's the most important thing to remember about heavy. The other thing about heavy is that they are one of the most durable infantry classes you can use, apart from max. They have a shield, which allows them to either mitigate damage or completely ignore it. At a cost of course slowing you down, but it gives you more effective health than any other class, which means you can survive longer, which means you can kill more dudes and kill more Sunders and tanks. That's also one of the reasons why we use them. And of course, the light machine gun allows you to pretty much not reload so often. You can kill lots of enemies or use them for suppressive fire, which means the heavy in all is one of the most durable classes. It can destroy tanks and Sunders from range, and it has most bullets per mag, which means more dead dudes and more dudes save.
Okay, so there you go, guys. In a nutshell, that's why. Now, if we go slightly deeper into the class, what shield should people go for? There are 3 shields. There's an adrenaline shield, there's an MG shield, which is your nanite mesh, whatever the fuck called, and then there's a resist shield. So which one do you reckon the guys should look for?
Well, currently the resist shield is the best one you can get, but I've seen SOE say that they're going to be buffing the flak armor, but currently the resist shield is the best one. Paired with the nanoweave armor, it can give you a lot more health than the nano mesh would. Since the max out resist shield regenerates faster than the nanite mesh, and it doesn't block whole damage, but it mitigates it. And that's what allows you to survive a lot longer.
And so it mitigates how much per shot?
It mitigates, I think, 25% at max rank.
That
And
was 40.
it was quite a lot though. And paired with having about 250 hit points extra, it can give you a lot of health.
So you're saying you go for the nanoweave because it gives you extra hit points. You go
Yes.
for the resist shield because it gives you extra effective hit points. So basically, if we're talking other games and other concepts from other games, you're a walking tank, aren't you?
Well, the plan side you die fast anyway, but it does allow you to survive a lot longer than, for example, an infiltrator or light assault or any other class that doesn't have
it gives you more.
mitigation.
It increases the time to death, which gives you more chance of killing the XP boxes. Sorry, the Sunderers or the tanks or whatever you're being tasked to shoot.
Yes, it can save your life quite often, since it might give you that one extra rocket against that tank or the Sunder you're about to kill.
And it seems to me from experience that the heavies do tend to pump out a sustained damage because of their survivability. They're not instant DPS on one target. You know, it's not like they can instantly kill a guy very quickly, but they will churn their way through people because they can last that much longer. If you don't kill him instantly, he buggers off round a corner, gets his shield up again, and comes back and kills another guy.
Yes, it allows you to be in combat a lot longer than the other class, without needing to be resurrected or healed.
Okay, guys, so there you go. That's the reasoning why you're a heavy. Okay, in a nutshell, buy a sergeant, so you're a heavy until you're instructed otherwise. You're a heavy. Mike, I believe you have an insight into the whole procedure for how, where, when, and why for the engineer class.
Yes, thank you, Stumpy. Now, good evening, all trialists. While you may be used to pulling engineer quite often as a lone wolf, I hate to say this, but the engineer is a specialist class in the Goon outfit. Well, mostly on our outfit nights. We will only have one engineer per class, usually, unless the squad lead requests more under certain circumstances. However, if you are lucky enough to be pulled as an engineer, your duties are quite obvious. You are to keep the squad supplied with ammo, repair maxes, keep the transport alive. Obviously, you should stay behind the heavies because they are meant to be the first ones going in as they have the highest health pool. Do note, however, that being an engineer does not give you the right to pull vehicles, unfortunately. The squad leader is the one that will be pulling the vehicles if requested by the platoon leader, be it Galaxy or Sunderer. However, you are still, expected to repair it if you can, but unless you are asked to pull a vehicle, do not do so just because you're an engineer.
Yeah, it can lead to episodes of being shouted at if you pull.
Yeah, unfortunately. If you do want to become an engineer, though, you are welcome to sign on as a specialist. And like I mentioned, you can pull an engineer on occasions when the squad leader allows you to do so, such as during a max crash, we will require more engineers there. But it is a specialist class, and as Greedy has pointed out, the reason Heavy is chosen so often is because of its versatility. An engineer has a harder time taking down vehicles because you have to take the time to set up an AV turret or set down mines which the tank might not run over, fortunately.
It's kind of it requires a lot more experience, really, doesn't it, to be combat effective in the anti-armor role, because you need to judge your time, distance to the enemy, and you deploy setup time and placement of mines and things like that.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but as you mentioned, Goon outfit is infantry oriented, and engineers are generally for vehicles, which gives the engineer a rather small role. It's supplying the squad with ammunition and supplementing and AV capabilities if they have an AV turret, but we don't need a squad of 5 engineers in, so...
No, we don't. We really don't. And also as well, we mustn't overlook their use in the max crash, or in keeping maxes up when we're doing an AV team with 2 or 3 anti-aircraft maxes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, without the NG, we'd be sorely stuffed.
Yep, that is an exception. When maxes are pulled, the sergeant and squad lead will request more engineers, which is your chance to volunteer should you wish to play engineer.
It's also a good chance to be noticed. Let's say you've put some certs in there, maybe. You know, you've been playing at Lone Wolf, and you think, yeah, I'm a good engineer, but you're not too sure about applying. Maybe you don't quite meet all of the cert requirements for the specialist. Just, you know, put your hand up, volunteer. When it's like, I need an engine, just do it. Get in there, and people will start to say, yeah, he's quite good. And you'll notice they'll all hang around you waiting for your ammo pack. Just ask Bwop.
Bwop.
What are the certs an engineer should have within Goon outfit?
Well, the most important one by far, by miles, is the engineer tool. Getting it to level 6 is the most important thing because you receive a quite noticeable increase in overheat time and repair speed from 5 to 6.
And the removal of tank mines.
Oh yeah, and you can also deconstruct tank mines. It gives you a little bit more XP, but admittedly it is usually fastest to shoot them. Sorry. You should also certain to the ammo pack because that increases the time that it will remain on the ground and increase the ammo distribution radius. This also works with the ammo pack you receive from your turret by pressing B, the alternate firing mode. You should also set your certain to flak because you're more likely to be killed by that.
You need to explain that to people who may not know the B button when you put your turret out.
Well, in case there isn't anyone that knows that, you do not need to lug your ammo pack around with you. Your turret has an alternate fire mode. Bring out your turret, press B, and it magically becomes an ammo pack, which allows you to place C4 med packs or tank mines into your utility slot instead of the ammo pack.
There you go.
And it is affected by the ammo. It is affected by the ammo tree, so...
Yeah, if you didn't know that, guys, that is really good tip. You know, you don't need to fill up your utility slot with something pointless like an ammo pack. What sort of armour do you reckon, though, for resistance-wise, for stability? I mean, I personally go for flak on my engineer.
It's pretty much down to personal choice and the situation. If you're going into a battle, to be honest, it's your choice. Flak will prevent you from dying to explosives a lot more. However, it will not protect you from a direct hit, and nanoweave will protect you from bullets. If you're going into a biolab, you're more likely to get shot. So nanoweave. And if we are bioballing, which we'll explain a bit later, if you're bioballing across a large amount of open terrain where you're likely to be strafed by aircraft or tanks, you might have a better chance using flak in that situation. But those two would be my main choices, and I never run without one or the other.
I notice also our engineers tend to go with an underbarrel grenade launcher the whole time.
Well,
is that something that you should really consider investing in, that weapon?
Well, personally, I don't use the underbarrel grenade launcher, the explosive version, too much because I just feel guilty using it. But for the smoke launcher, it is worth it. If you can get the underbarrel grenade launcher, it might be worth it just for the smoke. Smoke makes a fantastic smoke screen to cover your approach, especially in open terrain.
It can
will
actually
increase
be
our
a game changer.
survivability.
It really is. Especially when you find an NG who's used his initiative, he's noticed we're going to be running across open terrain, he's equipped his smoke launcher, and he says, yeah, I've got smoke, and you go, great, just throw that smoke out there, thank you very much, you've stopped us all dying. You know, so that's another good idea, I would suggest. But what about the priorities for the engineer? I mean, it's going to be self-explanatory. If everyone pulls maxes and you're an engineer specialist, you've got to repair the maxes. But should people prioritize when we first attack somewhere, putting ammo down, or shooting grenades, or what's the or getting their turret up? What's the best thing to do really when you attack somewhere?
If we're max crashing, I would say the most important thing for an engineer is to put down an ammo pack in the middle where you'll service the most people, if you can, quickly, and then immediately start preparing maxes. I would prioritize the ones that are near death, and then take them up to half health, and then switch to another one which is hot near death. If they're all at roughly half health, I would just stick to one and fully heal them, and do them as requested and as I see them. Putting down turrets in a biolab is also useful because they can create a blockade, especially to block enemy max crashes. The large stairs at the gen room in a biolab, you can place a row of turrets along it, which has been quite useful at preventing max crashes. Most NC will tend to charge out of their spawn room, and the thing that will greet them is a line of turrets, which will block their fire and will block their progress until they destroy them.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. So that's our turret shield wall that we put up. But you guys, on training night, when you trialists come along, or you new recruits, that'll all be explained to you. Don't forget training night's a Tuesday, 7 o'clock UK. Okay, so we've gone through the NG quite successfully there.
A bit too much maybe, but we got it covered.
But it's a complex class. We're quite blasé, us guys, because we've been playing for a while. We know the ins and outs of these classes. But I always think that the support classes are what people tend to gravitate towards when they're playing on their own. So they've probably got certs invested in the NG, just like people have probably got certs invested in the medic. So
Yeah.
Looking towards the medic, you just hear him wake up there because he's probably a bit hungover again, aren't you?
No.
Yes.
That's his word for yes.
Yeah. No means yes for Desolation when it's alcohol. We do have our medic specialist Desolation here, which is good because lots of people who have poor frame rate or don't have loads of friends who play the game with them or aren't in outfits gravitate towards medics because it's a cheap way of getting instant reward. So, saying that, why should they, what should they do, where do you put your first cert, why do you want to become a specialist in the Goons to be medic? Take it away, Desolation.
I will do my best. Pretty much as you were touching on it. I mean, it is the ideal support class for those of you. I mean, I will admit freely, I am not the best FPS player. My hand-eye coordination on screen isn't brilliant. I can stack up a few kills, but I'm far from MLG or whatever. So if you're not, be honest with yourselves, and if you're not the best player, maybe you should resort to a support class. But also, it's a great way to get started with the game. I mean, you can really stack up certs just hanging around with a squad, and you can just sit in the corner and get free heals. And I mean, it gets you started, gets the certs rolling. I mean, I'm not the best medic in the Goons, far from it. I think Friedolf was the first. I don't know. And,
yep, he was, yeah.
But I mean, just looking through the cert list, the first one to stack into is easily the medical applicator, to get that stacked and full as quickly as possible. Because for the whole time that you've got your gun away, medical applicator out, you're a sitting duck, lightly armoured. You're not really going to run away, so be smart about it.
Because it decreases the time to revive, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it means you then heal. The people you heal start with full health if you max it out, rather than having to heal them once you've healed, revive them.
It's dirt
It is
cheap
noticeably faster than level 5 too.
Yeah, I think it's 10, 30, 50, 100, 500, but it could have changed since I stacked it.
No, it is dirt cheap. It really is cheap. As cheap.
Yeah,
it's cheaper
like,
than Nanoweave,
straight into it, yeah. And then, as a second thing, probably nano regen device. Stack that quickly. That's useful if there's a big group of you. Everyone's taking a bit of damage, splash damage from grenades and that. You sit there, sit in a corner, reload your guns. And you get
it heals the medic as well. People forget.
It does heal the medic. It heals everyone around you. I would suggest not getting the healing grenade. I go for revive grenades all the time. You only get one, but you lob it in you come under some heavy fire, max crash, max is charged through, little grenade, leg it, and everyone respawns behind the maxes, which is always quite fun. What else? Medical kit, maybe. I normally take C4, to be honest. 2 bricks of C4 is actually dead useful because you can start helping out with like Sundra kills, things like that. You're not just limited to killing infantry and picking up your fallen teammates.
Also, that helps very much. I was discussing this before with Thyssen, I think it was, or maybe Aviatus, I can't really remember. He's got dual C4 because he can stay medic when we drop on a Sunderer, and he'll time it so he's the last guy to drop. It's probably dead, but it means he can drop and revive everybody anyway, and still be combat effective if it's not dead.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I do as well. You'll drop in on a C4 once everyone's gone, and if everyone's dead, 2 pieces of C4, throw a revive grenade, and then try and run.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah.
Yeah. In terms of like suit slots, I mean, it's not that much difference. I mean, ideally you want to be in cover as much as possible if you're healing people. So I tend to take flak armor because that's the only way you're going to take damage is splash damage from rockets and things. And then the last one really is triage. It just heals people when you're in vehicles and that, which is always useful. But I mean, we rarely use it.
I know someone who's maxed that out, don't I, Greedy?
No.
Ooh.
You max out triage.
But it's still useful to have. I mean,
yeah.
I've seen a few situations.
I mean, if you've got certs to burn, yeah, but
I maxed out my classes, shut up.
I mean, a requirement for medic is like to get to level 1 or 2 anyway, because we do occasionally, like, finish a fight, we get injured, damaged, we don't have time, we have to move out immediately, and then we get into the Sunder and our health slowly creeps up, and by the time we reach next base we're full health, so happy days.
Yeah, it's basically it's a safety margin built in to the medic class for the squad. Because when you get in the Sunder, your medic is healing you, even though you don't all have to stop and get out, and he doesn't have to give you his lovely green goo right in the face. You just get in with him, and you're all healed. And by the time you jump out, hot tip on medic: if you're not used to playing medic, and you find yourself playing medic with a revive grenade, don't think you're a heavy and throw it at the enemy.
yeah, I've done that before.
Yeah, I have not done that ever.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty embarrassing when you go, yes, perfect grenade here. Oh, damn, wrong one.
Good job I'm not on their team. Yeah.
In
So
terms
what
of
about
weapons,
tactical mentality for the medic is different than everybody else, isn't it?
yeah, it's a more conservative mindset, I think. You're not going to soak up damage like a heavy. You haven't got the kind of variety of the engineer. You're not that flexible. So, I mean, stick to cover, picking up teammates, and pick up a few kills when you can. But, I mean, throwing yourself out in front is really not helpful to anyone. Because you die, then another mate's got to come get you, and then he's in trouble, and suddenly you're not there picking up everyone else, and the whole thing falls apart.
Yeah, very, very true. If you watch our medics, if you're in game, if you watch them, and just for some hints and tips, maybe just watch any of our medic specialists. If you're outside and there's enemies outside the building that we're defending or we're attacking or holding, they're not going to come and revive you because they might die, and they're more important than you.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the mindset is probably shown most by the weapons. I'm not sure what Freedolf rocks at the moment, but I'm running the I think I'm running the Hailstorm.
He's got something with a grenade launcher on it.
Oh really?
Mm-hmm.
I thought about that, but I'm enjoying the SMG, the Hailstorm, PDW-16, and the Commissioner as well as my sidearm.
You say I need to get laid. Do you need another phallic symbol?
Overcompensating, yeah. It's my boomstick.
The other one is if you look at Night Lady, I think she's still got the default weapon.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it works perfectly well. You don't have to invest your money in the new weapons. I mean, running default is perfectly acceptable. I mean, I prefer the Hailstorm because it gives you a bit of accuracy at range. It's a beast up close, and that's the sort of situations you're in. You're trying to heal people, you've got to pull it out quickly when someone's running around the corner and give them 10 in the face.
Why? Yeah, you're not helping your case here, man.
Yeah, I know, man.
But the default gun is absolutely fine. I mean, short of the Saber 13 is probably the most accurate gun we have for the medic, so...
Yeah, exactly. And
slap a full grip on it and,
running one of the pistols, how fast can you click your mouse? I mean, if you're running the underboss, equally as good.
Or even the default pistol, which I tend to get a lot of kills with. I like that.
Yeah, well, Hypothermia at the moment swears by the Emperor pistol.
The
Emperor used to be very good, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's
not
not
bad.
bad.
Though.
Am I the only one that uses the Inquisitor?
Yes.
Yes.
I like it. It's got the best iron sights ever. It's a fantastic long-range pistol.
University Mike, yes, you are the only person.
Oh dear.
So, you're not saying the healing grenades. Are you saying is that because it's not really as useful?
It's fulfilling the same role as your special ability, your F key. So I sort of don't really see the point. I mean, you can revive a big group of your squad mates, or you can heal them a bit when you could just go stand by them and click F.
Yeah. So save your certs and put them into
the
exactly. Grenade.
Stack them up, and it's double the price, but I mean, it's totally worth it.
So it does sound to me though that as a support class, the medic is definitely not front line. They're more like second or third.
Yeah, unless you're like one of the better guys up close in FPS, and you've got quick reaction times, you're well coordinated. You're not gonna take loads of kills, as many as if you were running heavy.
Good stable frame rate. You're really skilled, but your focus isn't on combat. It's more sort of Zen and the art of resin people, isn't it?
You're the ultimate team player, pretty much. Whereas the infiltrator can be, if you're just sniping, the ultimate lone wolfing.
Douche. Sorry. Yes, lone wolf.
Don't say that word.
Lone wolfing.
Sorry.
Sorry, soloing. Whatever.
Don't say that word. You filthy casual.
Sorry. Yeah. Anyway. Okay. So the medic class, as we're saying, is the uber team player. Is the person who keeps the team going. The person who stops everyone else from dying, and if you are dead, picks you up again. So then, moving on, because we've done the two support classes there. We've got the NG done there. We've talked about that, and his turret, and how he, his ammo is the backbone of the team, keeps us all resupplied, and the medic keeps us all from dying, which is best thing in the world. We're kind of moving now into the more specialist roles, really. If we look at the light assault role, commonly referred to as the LA. Lazy arsehole, levitating arsehole. Sorry. To talk us through the light assault, because this is the jetpack guy. We've got Greedy.
Yeah. So light assault. It's a hard class for me to talk about because I am specialized in it, and I am listed as an infiltrator. The light assault specialist within GOON Brigade, and the only thing I can say about light assault within goons is that it's not useful. At least not in goon squad or normal operations. It's a nice class to play on your own when you want to have some fun, but it's not used in goons because it has one major flaw, and the class is not for team. It's meant for lone wolves. And
Okay.
the mentality of a light assault in the squad is either everyone's a light assault, when you're doing a all or nothing assault, or no one's light assault. Because light assaults, when they're on roofs, they cannot be resurrected, and they cannot gain ammo, so they have to regroup constantly.
Yeah.
Another thing about light assaults is that they are good at taking out enemies in urban areas, but they are very bad at open areas, even with drifter packs. Another thing is you cannot take armor out from a long range, like a heavy assault or engineer can. For example, if you are setting up an AB team, then light assault is useless. Pretty much simple as that.
So the context for light assault is a densely packed area with lots of terrain to use for cover and to get height advantage.
Yes, it's mainly used for flanking when you have cover, like buildings or lots of rocks or lots of height differential from within the vicinity, like being near a hill or being near, yeah. It's more for ambushes, and I can talk about the loadouts, but all in all, within goons, the light assault is not used actively. For example,
no, it's like you said at the very beginning of the discussion of the class. There, we occasionally say everyone pull a light assault and just jump off this thing and go land on the Sunday and C4 it.
Yes, it's either everyone is a light assault or no one is.
They're almost disposable because you can't actually resupply them or res them, or their mobility acts against them, doesn't it?
Yes, the mobility acts against the whole staying with the squad and being alive thing. It's good to use in Zergs, but even then it's not going to be very good within squad play, who has to play tight, who has to have defenses all around the base, because the light assault is a liability, basically. When you lose it, you lose another gun, another rocket launcher, another medic. You lose a part of your squad if someone is a light assault. Even if they are staying close to your squad, you still lose that extra gun that you would need to take out the Sunder.
It's not focused enough, is it? And it's almost as if by someone being a light assault, you lose a heavy or a medic or an NG, and they're just a lot more valuable.
Yeah, I For example, when I lead a squad, when I see light assault, I know, okay, I lost the gun. I've lost one guy with ability to kill tanks. You can kill tanks up close, yes, but I still use that long range capability of seeing, oh, there's a Sunder to the west, 200 meters out, and the light assault has to run over there. Whereas the heavy assaults can just move 50 meters to the right and take out the Sunder by themselves.
Yeah, it's more of a niche role, isn't it? Whereas the heavy can kill just about anything. You know,
Yeah.
The light assault's kind of limited in his options.
Yes.
And unless we're doing something rather odd, you're not going to get that much use out of it.
Yeah. For example, me being light assault specialist for about 4 months, but in about maybe 20 outfit nights I've been in, I've used the specialty maybe twice. That was for like 10 minutes at a time. So it's not used very often. So
yeah,
if we're playing casual squad, you can play light assault. I don't personally really mind it, but during outfit night, the light assault is basically useless.
there you go. Not a big downer on the squad, on the class, but it's just the usefulness in the squad is limited on outfit night or in overall gameplay, so we don't tend to use it that much.
Yes.
Okay, well, moving on to another moving on to infiltrators. I just wonder if Desolation could give us an insight as to why you should be a sniper and why you should not be a sniper, or why you should be a hacker or you should not be a hacker.
I mean, you should be a hacker, first things first. Yes, because that is possibly the most useful thing, apart from the little detecty things that you shoot at. Recon detect device, that's it.
That's the thingies.
Yeah, I mean, from a squad-based point, we're talking about the outfit as a whole, sniping doesn't have a huge amount of use. I mean, you can pick off 1 or 2 targets, maybe if there's a sniper bugging you, but all in all, you're better off going up close, running the SMG, taking some claymores with you, maybe the EMP grenades, and just rocking it out, you know, because
using
sniping,
your stealth to the advantage.
Yeah, exactly. Flanking, just making a nuisance of yourself, because sniping, okay, it's fine, yeah, it's nothing more satisfying than landing that perfect headshot on an unsuspecting NC or VS who's, you know, camping airpads or whatever. But you're not really helping the squad as a whole. That's one less man on the ground who could be healing, laying mines, laying turrets, taking out their rocket launcher.
We have slowly evolved with one of our members, Yuruno, with his help over the past few, I'd say about 10 to 12 weeks, maybe 3 months. We've moved towards the hacker specialist rather than a sniper specialist. It's the infiltrator class, but as you say, it's with a submachine gun, with a good recon detector tool, and some certs in the hacking cert line. So that when we attack a base, they go in, spam sensor darts, hack things, I don't know what else they do. But that makes them useful. But as you just say, sniping doesn't really give them a team role.
Yeah, I think as being a squad leader and having infiltrator specialists, the sniper can spot targets, yes, but he has a very limited view of the battlefield. Even if he's high up and he can see enemy spawn, he might not be able to give us the information we really need. For example, if an infiltrator is staying with the squad and spamming sensor darts, it gives me a lot more information than the sniper does.
Well, it gives everybody in the squad information, and
yes,
they really are essential. You know, I can't stress it enough just how many kills people get, or how much difference it makes when we defend or attack a position. Just to have some lunatic with a sensor dart gun shooting a wall gives everybody a 25 meter. Oh, I see you. It's a free wall hack.
Yeah, and specifically on defense, it gives you a massive advantage. Firstly, you can see where people are approaching from, as you said, 25 meters, but also putting down claymores adds a level of security. Okay, you know,
yeah,
we can argue all day long about what the best anti-personnel mine is, you know, hidden and whatnot, but people run around the corner, maybe you're in a bit of trouble, see claymore to the back of an enemy just to, you know, slow them down, even kill 1 or 2 is brilliant.
I completely agree with you. You know, we can't cover every entrance in a building all the time, and to have it go boom and us go, oh, he's over there.
Yeah,
even though we got the sensor dart, it's not quite always clear, is it?
even to act as an early warning, say you take all their shields off and a tick of health, it just tells you where they are.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. But, it started from my point of view with, I saw there were a lot of guys who really enjoyed playing the old sniper, and I wanted to find a role for them that would be combat effective within our group. And then Uruno popped up and went, "Oh, look what I can do with my sensor darts." And I just thought, well, where the fuck have you been all my life? You know?
Well,
Go and get an SMG, you bastard, and hack that stuff now. And that's how it evolved. It was sheer usefulness, the utility of having him support everybody. Everybody with one weapon is brilliant.
yeah. What I really noticed that was so useful about hackers when Guri was the first infiltrator specialist who actually hacked and did all this stuff, and it gives us so many advantages.
And don't forget, Carl used to do his suicide invisible runs to hack something. He rushes over to the point, stab the guy, shoot the guy next to him, hack the point, run away. You know, it's phenomenal watching the man work. It was great. Yeah.
So the infiltrator specialists are mostly used as ambush and not as sniper.
But it's really support, isn't it? It's really, when we attack somewhere, you're supporting everybody. Your value is not in how many kills you get, it's how much utility you bring to everybody by spotting the enemy, hacking points, hacking equipment terminals so people can get more grenades is totally underestimated. You know? Doing that stuff really gets, it doubles our combat effectiveness, if not more.
Yeah, that's why I cry so much about Light Assault, because it doesn't have any utility for the squad, and it's my specialty, and I would love for it to have some sort of supportive abilities.
I thought I was going to rant a lot about the snipers, but Desolation put it so nicely and calmly, and I seem to quite like the hackers now.
Not surprised.
Move on to our final class discussion for the new recruits, the trialists among us, and those who wish to join us, and that is the big metal monster. That is the Max, and to talk us through that, I'm going to hand this over to Mike, because I've seen Mike shoot more than his fair amount in his Max.
Well, the Max is pretty boring compared to the other classes, so this would be pretty short and sweet.
What?
Well, I mean, a Max is a Max. It's a killing machine. Maxes are used in Max crashes. They're great as blockade breakers. You know, they're useful for taking the biolab. When we pull a Max crash, most of the heavies, like every heavy in the class, will switch to Max, and we will request some extra volunteers for engineer to help repair the Maxes. The medics will stay as they are. But Maxes are great for taking out biolabs because of how much health they have and how much pure killing potential that they have. But under normal circumstances, you will never pull a Max unless we do a Max crash, or pulling an AA Max to defend our position if we are doing anti-vehicle duties. Maxes are expensive as well, so we can't pull them too often. But yeah, a Max is a killing machine. I mean,
is it 350 resources?
450.
Yes, 350. Yeah, 350 actually.
Is it? Are you positive?
Yes,
Right.
it's normally 350, and it's cheaper if you have Indar.
Okay,
Right.
so at the moment it's 350 infantry resources, and how much C4 does that buy you, or whatever? What?
That's 2.5 C4.
Okay.
No, that's 3.5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So if you pull a Max, or you've only got 750 pool, you can only pull 2 Maxes, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, infantry
That's one
resources
of
are the
the
most
reasons.
precious, so...
Yeah, exactly. That is one of the reasons why we only ever pull them in an organised basis, or if there's a need for an anti-aircraft Max. Squad leaders also don't like people pulling them, or sergeants, or any officer of any description, randomly, because we redeploy faster than everybody else and more frequently, and that means you've just fucking thrown away 350 resources that you're going to need for C4 and grenades.
Exactly. Now, I can
So-
understand that some people want to pull other classes like specialist roles when they're not meant to. That's understandable. You might get a slap on the back of the head if you do that, especially during outfit night. But if you pull Maxes when you're not meant to, we can't have that, because if you pull a Max when you're not meant to and we have to redeploy, we have to go. We can't wait for you. We're not going to pull a Galaxy and spend 5 minutes traveling over to the base where we were and pick you up and head to where we were going. Maxes are only pulled when requested, no exceptions.
Because, put it this way, you are not as important as the 28 to 36 other people in this outfit who have not fucked around, have not done the wrong thing, and need to leave. You will be left behind, and you will probably be shouted at by me extensively. So, do yourself a favour, follow orders, don't pull a max until requested.
But on a happy
Everything will
note,
be good.
equip flak, because you will have engineers hanging with you all the time, so you will not need kinetic or auto repair.
Yeah, because kinetics, your base armor resistance is 80%, isn't it, against
Yes.
small arms? And
Maximum
with-
kinetic will put it to 7.5 extra, putting it to
and it's like 1,000
87.5%.
certs.
It's kind of expensive, yeah.
Yeah, so for 7.5% resistance, don't do it. Buy 50% resistance from explosives for the same money. What about special ability on the maxes?
Well, there's a few. Well, there's actually 3.
Which
There's
would you
charge.
recommend people go for?
Charge.
I'd say charge is the most useful one. Lockdown can be useful in some situations, but only if you have flak armor and you have engineers protecting you. The other one, ammo canister, is just not. We don't really need it considering we have engineers. So
You have engineer on your back, you can drop a ammo pack. Come on,
Yeah,
it's his
so-
job.
So ammo canister is not important. I'd say charge is the most important, but lockdown does have some uses. Just
It's-
unfortunately it's limited.
It's basically lockdown is for AA and some biolab defenses.
Yeah, I mean it's great
Apart
if
from
a
that, it's-
Zomax comes in and you unload into a Zomax with maximum lockdown, like dual extended mags onslaughts. It's just suck on that, Mr. Zomax. But of course you are sitting still, and if you get rocked into the face, it hurts. So the flak does
Yeah.
not protect you from direct hits.
No. It's 2 rockets and you're dead.
What about the timer? Should people invest in that to get that down?
The
Because
time is not
there's-
too important in my opinion.
Because isn't there a certain point where if you invest past that, you don't get enough resources back on infantry resources back, so it's a waste?
I'll be honest, I don't know. I mean, I haven't pulled a max that much to find myself in a situation where I wanted to pull another one. I have put about 5 out of 10 into the certification cost, the cooldown timer, but I don't see there's much point beyond that because with the somewhat recent changes to the resources, how much they cost to pull now, you don't pull them that often. It's a luxury, so...
Yeah, it's very situational. It's a heavy weapons platform that we use for certain heavy weapon situations.
Yeah, I mean, if you're at a base and there's like 1 squad versus 1 squad, just don't pull a max. You know, if it's a biolab max crash, then yeah, we'll need a bunch of maxes. But in that situation, we're either going to fail completely and die, and we'll have to move on, or you'll be revived for a medic by a medic. So
Yeah.
you know, cooldown time is just not
Yeah,
important.
and also the main thing to remember, I think, as well is when you are a max, you're going to have to rely on some poor schmuck to follow you around with a repair tool. And if you're going, oh, I'm a max, and someone thinks, oh shit, no one else wants to be the NG, I'll do it. You're just being a selfish pleb.
And that also reminds me of one thing before I forget. If you are paired with an engineer, be sensible. Just because you have an engineer does not make you unkillable. If you find yourself pushing out of the gen room when you're meant to be holding in the gen room, the engineer will not follow you because while you might be able to pop out the door for a few seconds to get a few kills and make it back, he won't. He will die and therefore he will not follow you.
Yeah, it's your responsibility to keep your NG alive. It's not his responsibility to keep you alive, except for when he's using his repair tool. You need to put yourself in a position where he is not getting shot, and so he can keep you going. You've got to have that almost symbiotic relationship.
But it kind of, I agree, it works both ways. But a nice way to kind of farm points for NGs, I don't know if you guys have gone over this, is just sit behind your max. Make sure you're in cover. Sit behind your max and just constantly repair. He's going to take the fire. He's going to dish it out.
Yeah.
Put some ammo at his feet and then just keep repairing, and it's free certs.
We can't risk it though.
Yeah.
I mean, not
Well,
during
well-
outfit night. So we have to be
No,
serious there.
It's more the whole thing of not rushing out of a door and standing there expecting your NG to follow you, because you're putting the NG in harm's way then.
Yeah, I mean, you can stand in the doorway and kill people. If you're getting any light damage, you can sit there and then repair you. But if you're getting
And you can
rockets in the
hide behind
face,
the wall,
you have
can't
to
you?
back off.
Yeah. Alright guys, well I think really we've gone through every class.
Somehow.
Yay. Am I getting
Oh,
my
God.
cake now?
There is
Maybe
no
later.
cake. The cake is a lie.
There's
Shit.
only pie is a lie, cake is the truth. You must get that right. Okay, so moving on from the class discussions there, guys, we've thrown a couple of terms in there that people may not be familiar with. We've got Bioball and Max Crash. So, Greedy, what's a Bioball?
Oh, a bioball. Well, a bioball basically means run there as a whole squad. That's the basics of it. You get your class, you run around the field from one place to another. That's the basics of bioball. But why we use a bioball is bit more complicated answer. So why we use a Bible is because, well, when you pull asunder and you get your whole squad in it, you basically only have 2 guns to shoot the enemy. In case you encounter a enemy tank, you only have 2 guns to shoot him. What a Bible does, it gives you ability to use 12 or from 11 to 12 guns on the field. That includes rocket launchers, carbines, assault rifles, grenades, C4. We get a lot more firepower on the field with a Bible rather than just a sunder full of people.
Mm.
Plus,
And
it
also
doesn't expose your sunder to dangers because
It's
you can
not
take out
one
the
target. You can't kill everybody with 3 AV shots if you're not in a Sunday in a group. You know?
Yeah, it also lowers the risk of wiping the whole squad out. You are still in danger of getting run over by tanks, but since the medics are in the back, just
Usually
wait for
friendlies.
a res. Yeah.
Welcome to TR, it's usually your own team. Yeah, the term bioball comes from the fact that the people running are the biomass, and they're usually running in a ball formation, as in a big round thing, with all the heavies in the front and everybody else behind them. That's where it comes from. You use it to cross open ground, broken ground, charging into towers, charging any point, and it's the most effective, it's got the highest DPS, and it's got the highest effective hit points of anything in the game. So that's why we use it as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's a max crash, man?
A max crash is when we're all ordered to a particular base or outpost, and when they say we're forming a max crash, that means that all heavies will switch to max. If they are unable to switch to max, they will be requested to switch to engineer or medic, depending on which one they have started into more. The maxes will be equipping fractures, if you can aim with them, or anti-infantry weapons, with flak preferably. They will rush in after a countdown and head straight for the gen room in most situations, with the engineers and medics trailing behind them. They will clear the room, and then we'll set up a defensive formation in the gen room while we wait for the gen to overload. That's it in a nutshell.
That is it. That is a perfect description. If anyone ever wants a definition in a dictionary, Mike has just provided you it. That is fucking awesome. Okay, guys. So they're the two terms that we tend to throw around a lot that may be slightly out of your normal experiences. So just remember them. Now, we have a few tiers of our goons. We have a basic goon. But before that, we have a trialist. It's kind of like a almost goon. Then we have a goon.
No, it'll be a repeat of the Planet Gate incident.
Yes, you are pleb. So we've got an almost goon as a trialist, and we've got a goon, which is everybody. You know, everybody you see who's got goon is a goon, and they will treat you as such. You know, if they're in the goons, then that's fine. If they're not, just ignore them, they're idiots. Then we have specialists, who I always think are kind of almost like like a lance corporal in the army. They've proven themselves, they've got ability, they've got time served. So to talk about specialist role and how he's found it, I'd like to throw that over to Desolation and just why did you go for specialization, specialist role?
I don't know. I guess because I'm not the best FPS player. It's once you're in a role and you want to keep playing it, medic, I got really hooked on it. I really got a kick out of it. I was good at it. And you get a lot of cert points for it, a lot of experience, and you can just rack up the points. And being a specialist just means you can, keep running whatever you want to run. I mean, if your favorite is heavy, you don't need to. I don't think we do.
No, we don't have heavy specialists, but we have a non-heavy specialist.
Yeah, because she insisted.
Every goon is expected to be able to use a heavy well.
So, yeah, I mean, so if you prefer running NG or medic and you want to run it, each outfit night and go, right, I want to be the go-to guy. Call your name out, get yourself signed up, rack up those certs, get yourself up to the level that we're expecting and jump in.
Nice. So you kind of thought, all right, that's for me because I want more certs.
I think I saw Friedolf had been made specialist, and he was running specialist every outfit night, and I was going, right, I suck at heavy assault. I can't shoot it yet. I'm so unused to PC gaming, having been a console gamer. Right, I'm going to run medic. I can do that. And it kind of stuck. You get into it.
Filthy console peasant.
Oh, that's harsh.
I've seen the light.
PC Master Race.
But Mike, you have to admit, GTA 5 not being on PC is a bit annoying.
Actually, I'm not that excited for it. I'm way more excited for 1.2
I'm not
Terraria,
talking to you ever again.
It's okay. It's the console peasant. Moving on.
You guys have just the most random shit going on sometimes.
This is important, Stumpy.
Why?
It just is.
It's Grand Theft Auto 5.
Well done.
Yeah,
Everyone knows
they
that
made-
Grand Theft
they
Auto
made
3
4 of
was the
them.
best. 3 was the
Yeah,
best.
again.
But
Yeah,
this is
3
the
is the
best
best.
one.
Anyway, moving on from my console days. So that's the specialist role, guys. And then the next step up from that, we've got sergeants. Oh, that's where people start to pay attention to you and shout back at you. And
Wait,
why
people
the
shout
fuck
at
you
me?
Oh, yes, mate. You haven't.
No,
Anyway,
I
that'll
haven't
be later.
muted.
That'll be later. Okay. So, as we've got Mike and Greedy here, I'm going to throw it over to both of you and say, you know, what's the sergeant role? Why did you go for it? Why do you want to be a sergeant? What do you like about being a sergeant? What don't you like about being a sergeant? You know, what should people expect from you in the game as a sergeant?
Right, well, let's see, how can we start this together? The reason I chose to be a sergeant is because I don't really feel like I have what it takes to lead, but I do have some good ideas here and there, which, as a sergeant, will get you noticed. Like, if you have an idea of getting something done and a way of doing it, as a sergeant you can do it, just as long as it aligns with the long-term strategic objectives of the platoon leader. So that's one major pull for me. What about you, Greedy?
Well, I wanted to be a sergeant because leading is kind of in my blood. I like leading people, and
Natural born
I think-
leader.
yeah, I think it's some of these sort of I can control others, and it's kind of I like playing
Uh-oh.
and doing in games.
So you're the benevolent dictator, are you?
Not
My
a dictator, but I kind of like manipulating people. So that's why I
So
became
you're
sergeant.
Machiavelli. You're Machiavelli, are you? In goon form.
I
He's not
do
that
not
good,
know who
mate.
that guy is.
He's not Machiavelli.
No, but I
But-
really like
but-
leading, so I.
The actual insight is that
Soldier.
Greedy just got made to be a sergeant and he didn't have a choice.
I mean,
Yeah.
I was thinking about applying, but I don't actually know. I think at the moment you have to just ask to run squads, don't you? And you guys, the brass in charge, just assess it.
Well, at the
Yeah.
moment, the
Like,
sergeant role is
volunteer.
invitation only.
Yeah, you get
Ah.
invited. To
You can
be
be
a sergeant.
invited to run a squad, and then the current squads, whether they're sergeant or squad lead, they will determine how well you do at it.
I see.
It's more to stop lots and lots of people coming up and saying, I want to be sergeant, I want to be sergeant, I want to be sergeant. And if there is a formal procedure, everyone will start utilising it, and it'll mean everyone will start shouting about everybody else, and everyone will start having these random opinions about they want to do this and this wants to happen, and blah blah blah. And it'll just descend into a completely
Anarchy.
cohesive, yeah, it'll just be madness. You know, it'll be like last night when everyone was drunk. On TeamSpeak and being,
Everyone's drunk. Oh, I
They
wish
were
I was
all-
drunk.
no, you don't. You'd be a terrible drunk. Okay, well, if just as the person who tends to do platoon lead a lot, and as what am I now? An XO, executive officer. If I could just go through how I view the sergeant role, not to criticise what you guys have just said, just to sort of give people a bit more of a definition from how I view it. The sergeant is there to reinforce what the squad leader says, not to make it the word of law, but just so the squad leader doesn't have to sit there going, please do this, please do that, please get in your max, why are you pulling this? No, that's the sergeant's job. You know, the squad leader is looking at the map and he's going, we need this, we need to go there, we need to do that, okay. And he turns to his sergeant and says, oh, can you get a Sunder up and we'll just drive over there, thanks, get the guys in and sorted. And then the sergeant just finds somebody, he knows his squad, he knows the players, he goes, can you please get a Sunday, everyone else get resupplied, I want these classes, this class, we're going here, and he looks at the map and he plans the advance. You know, there's a lot more responsibility in there than you guys are actually giving yourself credit for.
Admittedly,
Yeah,
though, the sergeant role, like squad lead, splitting up into is a recent-ish development. A sergeant is technically qualified to do both, depending on who is online and what is requested of the platoon lead.
If you look at the, if you guys look at the setup posted by Barnabas, there's a whole post to do with who leads what, where, and when. Sergeants are expected to be competent enough to step into a squad leader or officer role when necessary.
So we're basically the backups, yes.
Yeah, well, that is dropped on the sergeants regularly, because there might not be enough officers on outfit.
You are the 2 IC.
Exactly, that's it. That is exactly it. That's kind of why I set it up like that, but never mind.
Sorry.
Alright, so that's the sergeant. Oh, and he's also the person who's going to interact with you most, by the way, if you're a new guy. Even if you're a specialist or even if you're a recruit, he's going to be the person in command who's going to interact with you the most. It might not be in a good way, it might be in a good way. It might be oh look, you've got nice camo, why have you got a flash? Stuff
No,
like that.
I'm saying you guys, officers aren't so bad, aren't sergeants. I've only ever seen one meltdown, and that was back when I started.
Who was that?
Ninja, I think, no longer with us. I think he went to join FU, had a complete, I don't know, something got to him, some trialist said something, and he just went for him. It was brilliant.
Brilliant?
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
Not brilliant, it was brilliant to watch. I imagine the bloke didn't feel so good.
Was it a complete shouty, emo shouty?
Yeah, we've
Yeah,
had
pretty
some,
much.
some rude people in the outfit, and I'd like to think they're all gone at this point. I'm not going to name names, but from what I
Still
heard,
here, mate. I'm still here.
well, yeah, but the thing is, you're the extra, so I can't say anything yet. But
No, well,
Yet, okay.
Stop you,
well,
mate,
you
but-
just
the
pretend you
general
didn't hear that.
consensus is, the general consensus, if you want to be part of the outfit, do what you're told and everyone's going to have fun. If you're just here to fuck about, then you can fuck off,
And I would just
Yeah.
like to mention to anyone that's still listening that this is outfit night. Like, we're not always like this. On other weekdays, it's casual squads. You can pull whatever class you want, whatever tank you want. If you're in a squad, just try and stay near the objective, but come in whatever you want. This is just
Well,
outfit night we're talking about. This is when we're
I
super
would,
serious business.
I'm going to take task with that, mate. If you've got someone who's leading a squad and you have joined that squad, you do what they tell you, even if it's not outfit night.
Right, in that case, if you don't want to, if you want a lone wolf, then just don't accept the just
send
reject
the
the
guy a tell.
invitation.
Send them a tell and say, I'm just lone wolfing for a bit. No problem, that's fine. But if you constantly reject invites to be in squads, people will start to get a bad idea of you and they will stop inviting you. And you will find yourself on the periphery and feeling isolated. But if you just send them a little whisper just saying, yeah, I just want a lone wolf, I'm just dicking around.
So, I mean,
That's
just
fine.
show up for some outfit nights or like squads once in a while. Because I'm just saying, you're welcome to do what you want. But if you are going to lone wolf non-stop after doing the outfit, it does kind of, why did you join in the first place? Just saying.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. But if you do join a squad and someone is taking the time and putting the effort into leader, you will follow their orders, otherwise you will be gone. That's the way of it. If you don't like it, don't join. You've got that choice. You don't have to complete your trial. No one will think any worse of you. That's why the trial period is there. So we know you, you know us. If you don't like it, you don't have to join.
And you're welcome to reapply at a later date if you change your mind.
Of course you are. When you
Yeah.
realise that we are awesome,
We're
Okay.
actually pretty loose about most of this stuff. Like, we don't time pressure people. We understand everyone's got their own fucking life to deal with and that. So it's kind of-
Exactly.
at the end of the day, everyone wants to have fun. But if you're ruining everyone else's fun by not running with the squad and that, then we can be dicks as well.
Yeah, to quote Whoop, if you're harshing my mellow, I will fuck you off.
Bloody wop.
I know.
Words from someone who I'm sure has smoked a lot of weed.
No,
Um,
no, don't you dare accuse me of
No? Oh, okay. I retract that statement on the advice of my lawyers.
that.
lawyers, you got him now.
Yeah.
Nice.
Alright guys, so that's the sergeant role. Moving on to squad lead, which is the next tier up for you to aim for after you've been invited to be a sergeant, you've proven your ability. The next one is the officer role. Okay, currently we have 4 officers, one of whom might be dead.
Who are the officers?
Frozen, Salfa, Sensu and me.
You're
Oh, yeah,
not
this is like,
really
what's
up to
SL
date, are you?
injured or something.
Which
Well,
one's
I don't know.
dead? Salfa.
Yeah,
Salva,
it's like
yeah.
partially dead. He's partially dead.
Hopefully someone undeads him.
Sensu's turned into a chew toy, so he doesn't really turn up very often. And Frozen's off being cold somewhere in Finland in the army most of the time.
I'm not even going to venture into why Sensei's not here. Let's move on.
Please.
If you look in the recruitment forum, like you're meant to, it'll all be very self-explanatory.
Who, you talking to me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
You're
No, I've done the application. Fuck off.
Zordos. Did you not see? That's
Who the fuck is that?
That's Sensu's young lady.
Oh god.
Oh, desolation. How much do you smoke?
Actually, none, because I'm in England at the moment.
Gonna say, yeah, you
Oh.
did when he was abroad, didn't you?
What? No, I totally
No.
wouldn't do that. That was totally not legal.
Uh-huh.
Did not happen, and you were not there. All right,
I
so
totally have not done the illegal things
Yeah,
in my
you
life.
guys can fuck off. I have processed that application.
But that's God. Do you not get it? Look at the last line of her application.
I know.
That's why he's not around very much.
I get that, which is why we're moving on.
Okay.
Oh yeah, right.
You're taking the foot out your mouth there, aren't you? Right. Okay, so officers, this is what your sergeants aspire to do. They aspire to take more responsibility and to get shouted at by more people.
Actually, less people, because it's only you who shouts at me.
Yeah, but I'll shout at you more if you're an officer.
Okay.
Because I'm not forgiving if you're an officer. If you're an officer and you fuck up, it's not just the squad you fucked up, it's every squad and it's everybody on for outfit night. You cannot fucking fail when you're an officer.
So, no pressure.
You can't.
No, not at all.
Seriously, it's the same pressure I put myself under every single outfit night, is to do well by everybody who bothers to turn up and wants to be in the outfit night. And if I fail, it really fucking guts me for days afterwards.
Man, I'm quite emotional actually. The amount you've invested in this outfit. I'm genuinely tearing up.
Oh, it's because you haven't had sex lately. But that's it, guys. You know, your squad leads are usually at the moment sergeants. Okay, and they're sergeants who are aspiring to be officers, and there's a hint about that happening maybe sometime soon. And
Nudge.
Your squad lead is in charge of Alpha, Bravo, Charlie or Delta, one of them, and he is in charge of that. But he obviously receives orders from his platoon lead and gives orders to his sergeant. So he's in the middle. He's got 11 people plus himself wanting to know everything that's happening. And he's got one guy, or woman in the future, one person, who's giving instructions based on very little empirical evidence, just mainly guesswork. So the poor bugger who's leading the squad is the person who's usually the most stressed. And this is what your sergeants want to do. They're fucking idiots.
Thank you for that compliment.
And then after that, you've got the platoon lead, which is an officer. It's usually either myself or Sentu. But we are having our sergeants step up there to get more experience, to take that role over, so we can have redundancy. So if people aren't on, they can just squad lead and platoon lead and do that. And the platoon leader is self-explanatory. He's in charge of the whole platoon. He decides where the GOON Brigade goes. He liaises with the comms specialist. He talks to all the other outfits. He makes decisions usually for other outfits, for lots of other squads, and organises the entire war plan for the whole GOON Brigade on outfit night.
Who is the comms specialist? Is it Ferris?
No, it's
No.
this one.
Oh, this one. Oh, okay. Cool.
Ferris is what's the word? Failing to get his internet connected.
How can you fail to get your internet connected? Isn't it already connected?
He went with BT.
Oh, that
Oh.
is such a mistake.
Yes.
Wait,
BT,
Ferris, suck it,
Jesus.
mate.
For those of you who don't live in the UK, British Telecom are renowned for being shit, and Ferris is one of the angriest men in the GOON Brigade, and I can only expect that Essex is going to be bathed in the lakes of blood. So yes,
You need to
Go around
switch
to
to
his
Sky,
house,
mate.
look in the
Sky's
fridge and you just see the
fantastic.
heads of various BT engineers who failed to fix the problem.
Well,
you'll have to buy them walk.
those war poles, like you have the severed heads of your enemies. I can just imagine his house like being lined with BT heads all around it. That's what happened to the last BT engineer who said he couldn't fix my problem.
You go, oh, I can fix it, but just not today.
Tell me I need another part, motherfucker.
Okay, guys, so really we've gone over the whole organisation of the GOON Brigade. We've done all the classes, we've given everyone all the information they'll need, and we've shown there is a serious side to us, but there is also a very good fun side to us. It doesn't mean that just because it's not an outfit night you can just behave like a complete tool. If you want to do that, fuck off to a public platoon. It's not run by us, but you've got to have a sense of humour, you've got to be mature, and you've got to just want to kill the enemy.
Mature? What?
Wait,
Sorry,
was that?
Wait, that
talking
doesn't
about
sound.
myself.
Really barely fits
Sorry.
that criteria.
Sorry. Okay, let me rephrase that.
What the
You've
fuck
None
you
of
say
us
that,
fit
motherfucker?
criteria.
You've got to have a good sense of humour. You've got to be able to be sworn at randomly by greedy. You've got to be able to read TeamSpeak while you're playing Planetside, otherwise you'll never meet your Uno. You've got to be ready for Mike to randomly shout at you because somebody shot his plane and it was probably your fault. And people might randomly get drunk at you in TeamSpeak.
At me? How
Thanks,
can
Stumpy.
that happen?
Thank you. I mean, I was about to, like, berate Greedy, like saying, ha, Greedy, you got mentioned, I didn't. Thanks.
Anytime.
Jesus.
You take it personal.
Of course I do.
Don't you like playing it?
Every time I get killed, it's unfair.
What? Hello everybody and welcome to our latest instalment of the GOON Brigade interviews for our marvellous, wonderful, shiny podcast full of death and destruction. And with me today I have my co-host, which is Greedy.
Hi.
And one of our longest serving and definitely one of our more intelligent members is Haddock.
Good evening.
All right, Haddock, thank you very much for volunteering yourself for our interview.
Yeah.
We asked for nominations, you put your hand up, didn't you?
Yeah, it did. It seemed like a fun thing, and I think I'm probably one of the members that talk the most, even if it's needed or not. So, yeah, people will hear me, so they should know more about me.
Yeah, definitely. And also, as you're someone who has been around since the very early days of the brigade, it would probably be a good idea for people to get to know, the established members at the start.
Yeah,
So,
that's fair.
That's one of the reasons we took Friedolf straight away. For comedy reasons, we had Whoop, and then for just sheer lunacy, we had Slacky last time. So I was quite glad you volunteered, because I didn't really want to have to nominate you.
Yeah, I mean, I've been around for a long time here, but I'm not really a leader or anything. I'm just a plain member, specialist even.
Nothing plain about a goon specialist. I personally don't think. I think that the goon specialists could probably quite happily lead everybody else's platoon. But that's just my bias. Going back to that, why did you actually join the goons? What enticed you into our fold?
Well, I got a hold of a beta key for PlanetSide back in September last year, and it didn't take me long in game to figure out that playing this is infinitely more fun if I have a proper outlet to play with. Because playing solo, I have no idea what I'm doing here, basically. So I looked around a bit and found, a couple of guys on the EU servers, and GOON Brigade, they seem like fun, and just made a forum post, can I join? And long story short, here I am still today because GOON is awesome.
Well, it's almost a year since you've been with us, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, my join date on the forums is 15th September or 2012, so yeah, almost a year ago. I can't recall if I got approved that day or a week later or something like that, but yeah, long time.
Damn. So it's you and Friedolf being the two pillars so far.
Yeah, if I look at the list right now, I think me and Friedolf are probably the two oldest members still active.
Should we say longest serving, just in case there's a little bit of in case Friedolf gets upset with you calling him old?
Yeah, that's fair. I think he has been more active than I have, so yeah, more kudos to that. And I'm pretty sure he joined before me.
Excellent. Well, in that almost 1 year, one calendar year since you joined, have you seen, what changes have you seen? Because I'm sure there have been some in the goons, actually.
Oh, lots of changes. I mean, basically, even introducing the new continents was a big thing, because we played Indar for months, because that's all it was. I mean, I started in beta when we still could squad deploy on galaxies. Basically, they were like AMS Sunburst. If you want to biolab, the biolab was covered with galaxies. So that went away, and it's fair because you could just get them anywhere, and still they had a shield of sorts, so they couldn't be destroyed unless you got close to them. But yeah, they were an issue because it was too simple to keep a place. And other than that, I mean, I've seen new weapons come and go. I mean, the Striker bring Glorious Deathbringer for a week or two before they nerfed it, and similar with other weapons. I see them introduced, being nerfed, being fixed. So yeah, I mean, I was there for when air was still good, and it's not as good today. But yeah, whatever. The game changes. It's such a huge scale, so lots of things will change in the game and make it better or worse. But for me, as long as Goon is still here, I'm satisfied because Goon makes it's why I play the game, basically.
So it stops it being a sort of a lonely, confusing existence, getting shot by all sorts of people, into something with a purpose and it has, an overall cohesive nature, doesn't it? Having an outfit.
Yeah, exactly. And also, it's such a huge deal for me to actually have like the social, the camaraderie of playing with other people. Because, yeah, I can play alone, but I don't get any satisfaction from just killing other people randomly. I mean, I've never been a competitional guy, so it doesn't give me anything to know. Yeah, I'm better than that guy on whatever. It doesn't matter to me. If I can play with friends and having a laugh about it, or just feeling like, yeah, we did something good here, that's much more important for me when gaming. And it isn't constricted to planet side.
No, that's how you're a social player. You want to have a social time whilst achieving something as a group.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, talking about the group, you've just gone over your changes that you've seen in PlanetSide. Have you seen any changes in the Goons over the year?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen like leaders come and go, some for the better, some for the worse, perhaps. But I think the game we adapt to the game with leaders and tactics and such. I think Vargas was a fine leader, but I think when he was the leader, he was like the only guy that actually led stuff for us. So I think that was maybe too much pressure for him to handle. Or I'm not saying that he just gave up on it, but he had to do it all the time, more or less. So nowadays, I see we change around a fair bit with who actually leads the squad. We have Mash that does lots of public platoons, and that's really nice. He gets them going. That's wonderful because we get more recruits and whatever. And then on Outfit Nights, we were around it. It's really nice to have it gives a bit more variety because our leaders have preferences how they want to do stuff. So it's nice to actually see some change every now and then.
So it gives a variety for you guys, doesn't it? Because, I don't really get to see much about an outfit night. It's really nice. Sensu said, I'll do the map-aside thing, you can lead the squad. And it was nice. It was refreshing for me a couple of weeks ago. It was really nice. Relying on the sergeants, and it's great. And so I think from what you're saying from the point of view from the guy who is at the tip of the spear, when you have different leadership styles, it gives you that extra variety.
Yeah.
Because that occasionally Greedy will just shout at you to get into a lightning and charge of people.
Yeah, sure.
No. I'll just crush my gal. It's a lot faster.
You didn't do it last time, but never mind. We won't
I actually did crash a whole squad.
You kept that quiet. When was that?
That was, I think, 2 days ago. I thought I told them to drop, but I actually... No. Just the casual play.
I've done that as well.
Okay, because I was just thinking...
Yeah, I remember flying a gal and, I'm gonna take a screenshot of flying this gal. F12. Oops. And it was like full gal besides that one lost spot that I changed to.
Well, just referring back to the question there about the changes in the Goons, you're saying, so the game kind of, it has changed and evolved, and we have changed and evolved along with it, obviously, with the game. But with changes in leadership, you're seeing, there's almost a separate evolution of the Goons that's not influenced by the game, but just by the leadership changes and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, there has been something, because really none of the officers that played when I joined isn't really around anymore for various reasons. So, of course, there's been a change, but for me, since I'm a specialist, I enjoy playing an engineer, playing medic, or if there's those spots that follow me, I enjoy playing the other classes a bit as well. And it doesn't really matter to me as much how the squad is led, as long as it is led by someone. So, it might seem a bit insensitive, but it doesn't really matter to me who leads
As long as there is some definite leadership there,
Yeah.
that's what you need, isn't it?
As long as we have leadership and it still has a nice team spirit in the game, that's fine for me.
Yeah, it's getting that fine balance, isn't it, between leading people and getting them to do things
Yeah,
and having
exactly. Because
fun.
if you go too much of like Waffen-SS or something, it gets a bit boring. If you can't talk and have fun with each
fascist
other.
dictating things are available. We can't endorse one over the other. We have to be
true.
impartial. Sorry,
I think I enjoy more being like in Mongolian Horde or something.
Well, I don't know if you've noticed, but with Under Firepower's very odd influence, and he is odd. I mean, we all know he's odd. I hope that he does this Warhammer 40,000 Orc thing.
Yeah, no, it's the Goblin thing. He and
Goblin
Wop
thing.
can get that going pretty far.
Yeah.
It's kind of got me into a mentality that we will, there's the enemy over there, just charge them, just get your war on. That's how I think.
Yeah,
I think,
I mean that can be real fun because we can accomplish so much, but they have like defending a position now. They won't charge us, and we charge them, and it's fun.
We just run up the hill, kill everybody. But I have noticed though, now we've started doing that and being more aggressive on foot, we are winning. I would say 75% of our engagements now. Prior to it, it was a 50-50 when we'd be quite a bit more defensive, not as willing to charge at people.
Yeah, I mean, I'm feeling we are a good outfit. Obviously, I haven't played with another one, but when we go into a fight, we can still win even if we are like outnumbered a bit. But I mean, obviously, if they are outnumbered too far, it doesn't matter how good we are because they just have too much people. So, but we can still hold our ground against like a fair amount of other people.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say 6 to 8% is usually fair enough. If we've got 42% in the hex and they've got 58, it's doable. It's hard.
Yeah. I mean, even depending on like the base, we have even hold out against like a double our number at times. But when it starts going 3 times our number, it's gonna be hard. I mean, obviously, we can take out the Sunday or something, but sooner or later you are just going to be overrun.
Yeah, and if you ask people to do that every day, all the time, every base, as a leader, you're doing something wrong. I feel because you need to be picking fights that you have a good chance of winning, not fights that you're probably just going to get massacred.
Ah, shit.
Yeah, that's one for you, Greedy.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I've asked you quite a few questions there, so I know Greedy's got a bit of a list of questions he wants to ask you.
Yeah, my first question is more about what is your favorite class? Is it the engineer or is it the medic?
I think I actually prefer the engineer a bit because it's fun, like placing down ammo. It just as simple as more variety than the medic class does, because the medic can heal people and it can kill people, and that's it. I mean, sure, I have C4 and I can drop on something, but I feel with engineer I can be effective both at range, in close, and I can be helpful for the team. So it feels more useful for me sometimes.
Well, on your engineer class, because you're a specialist, so you know the class inside and out. If people are just looking to spend their first, say, 300 or 400, maybe 500 certs, what would you recommend they put their first load of certs into?
The repair tool.
Nothing else, just max that out.
Yeah, I think because with the medic tool, if you're going for max that out, second to last on that one is still pretty good. It's very comparable. But with the engineer tool, I think you repair some faster, but you're still gonna overheat. So I think the engineer tool is important to get full search on. And of course, ammo pack will still be useful, and of course, whatever gun you prefer to use, get that one sorted out so you can use it more.
I mean, I've seen quite a lot of our engineers, our right, Woof especially, he's gone for the underbarrel grenade launcher. He's just bought the smoke launcher, and I think that's a lovely combination because the engineer's at the back, and if I need smoke laid down to cover in advance, it's not a frontline guy who's having to run out and do it. I think that's really valuable because you can just put your ammo pack down, can't you?
Yeah, the underbarrel is really useful, but sometimes it's not always reliable to get your ammunition for it from ammo pack because it bugs out or whatever. So, but
Right.
I still remember getting that gun, biolab fight, just sitting on top of the big stairs and dropping Vanner like crazy.
So, nanoweave or flak?
I tend to prefer nanoweave more, but I have both a nanoweave and flak to like second to last or last, can't recall exactly. But in a biolab fight, when I'm sitting behind Max repairing it or outside doing babysitting on the Sunday, I think that the flak armor is better because it can maybe help you survive from a Liberator or
Yeah.
SF. But the thing is about low podding, I remember reading somewhere that those actually bypass flak armor. I'm not sure if it's true or not, but you still seem to die really fast from them, so I'm not sure about it.
I think it's because the fire rate is so high.
Yeah,
You can spam
maybe,
them really fast.
Maybe. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, it really depends on the fight which one I use. I think I have one class with it, with flak, and the other one's placed with the one that gives you more health.
So you got nanoweave for certain things, and you think, well, maybe flak
Yeah.
this time. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sensible, isn't it? Okay. The other thing I was going to ask you about that, because I'm kind of interested in the engineer class. It's kind of, I play heavy all the time because I like it heavy. But occasionally, you know, when it's just we need an extra medic, we need an extra engineer, I'll throw myself in there because I don't really have to pay too much attention because we're all going to die if it's got to that point. I'm probably not going to stay as an engineer that long. But is the anti-infantry turret worthwhile?
Not really, in my opinion. I mean, in the right position, it can be wonderful, but most of the time, you're going to be flanked way too easy for it to be useful for other things than like blocking doorways for a few seconds. I have the AV turret equipped on all my classes because it is so good. But that's the thing with it, it probably is too good. And even if, I love sniping with it because it's just so easy a weapon to use. But it is really overpowered, in my opinion. It can hit things from too far, and it won't render. Projectiles won't render, and you won't know until you are hit that someone is shooting at you.
Yeah, we've all run into that problem, haven't we? With some bugger with an AV turret kills you Sunday.
Or Vanguard.
Yeah, but we don't like
Yeah.
Vanguards.
Well, I've been instigated by Vanguards that I cannot see. Like my summoner getting fired upon and suddenly it's all dead.
Yeah, I mean, that's an issue overall, really, with the
With
render
the-
distance.
Yeah.
I was going
But
to
I think
exactly.
it has been more common for me with AV turrets. Or in like really big fights, of course, the infiltrator is sitting a mile away and waiting for you to poke your head out of the spawn room or whatever.
So, I know you're saying that you think it's overpowered because it doesn't draw, but that's more than likely just an issue to do with the game mechanics, isn't it, and the render distance in the engine?
Yeah, I mean that's mostly the problem, but really, since it is so far away, to like if you're running around in your sun or whatever, and you can't see it before it starts killing you, yeah, that is an issue. And even if you could see it, do you have any weapons on the Sunday that actually can hit back at that distance, or any weapons that can hit back at that distance?
That's
not
weird.
really.
Well, no, but you see, this is where a lot. I'm not saying you are doing this, but this is where a lot of discussions about PlanetSide fall down because they start pitting individual weapon systems against each other. In that point is when you shout for your air support and you say, "There's a turret."
Yeah, fair enough.
That's how my mentality. That's how I deal with it. But in the game, because the majority of people are, I'd say, 60% don't play in an outfit usually on a regular basis. Get upset because they're getting blown up by somebody else.
I mean, yeah, that's really fair to say, because the game should be. I mean, it shouldn't be balanced towards single players. It should be balanced towards outfit play.
Yeah,
in my
very
opinion.
much. It's the most satisfying. It's the most
But
satisfactory, most fulfilling.
even so, when an outfit can sit up on a hill with 10, 15 AV turrets, usually
we'd
not.
never do that.
Usually not that many, of course, but I mean even 5 or so. All hit the same time, it will die instantly, more or less.
Yeah,
so,
I haven't got a problem with that.
I mean,
If
of
people
course.
want to drive the XP boxes around, that's their problem.
Yeah, true.
You have to be. That's where the Bible comes in, because the Bible takes out the AV team.
Yep, because you can run from maximum range with a fireball into an AV team, and they will not kill you.
Yeah, because they're focusing on vehicles mostly.
But I mean, still,
splash damage.
Even with this, I remember the flak cannons for the Maxes. They used to be really, really powerful because they could hit at such a long range. And still, even so, since they were nerfed, perhaps the Avitors should be nerfed a little bit as well. Give it a maximum range to be able to hit things. Because I think it's infinite range as it is now.
It can hit vehicles when vehicles render. Basically, it can hit anything as long as it renders.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Next question, Greedy, from Mr. Haddock. Or the captain, as we can call him.
The captain.
Captain
When we talk about the engineer class, I would also like to know what's your favorite weapon?
I think currently I like the T5 AMC a lot because, automatic weapon, aiming down sights, and it's fairly accurate even when spraying a bit. So, yeah, that's my style, firing down sights, because as someone who actually has fired gun in real life, heat fire don't make sense to me.
I don't use it at all when I'm with you there. I always think I'm going to miss, unless I've got the sights up.
Am I the only whippersnapper that played on a tournament in Quake and thinks that firing from the hip is the best shit ever? It's probably on me, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean, I have played some of those games, sure, but playing online games, I didn't really play any shooter online until Call of Duty 4, and aiming down sights just makes sense to me from real life.
It's instinctive,
coming into a game,
isn't it? If you've got the option to put sights up, you put sights up. If you haven't got the option, you don't think about it.
Yeah, sure.
No, because even if iron sights, I love the iron sights in this game. They're bloody awesome. Half the time I don't buy extra reticles or zooms or anything.
I need the zooms.
Yeah.
I need to hit those dudes.
Yeah, I mean, when I use the T5, I vary between using 3.4 zoom and 2 zoom, really, because it really depends on, we're in a biolab, I'm not going to need 3.4 because it's going to be a hassle when trying to shoot someone close range, and I switch to 2 or 1, or if we are smoking, I'm going to use an NV sight.
By biolabs, I normally just put the night sights on.
God damn it, I have to do that.
It gives you such an instant contrast because your brain picks up the light and dark. You don't have to filter it out. You just bang straight on target.
Yeah, sure. But that really only works when you know that you are going to be in a close range fight.
Oh yeah.
In a bit further away, it's going to be useless.
I agree with you. Totally agree with you. But you know, as I'm someone who's usually planning on the map with our third or second move to go, I've usually gone, we're going to go into a biolab in a minute, and I'll mooch off. And I'll go night sight at the Sunday, and I'll come back and I'll shout at you all to get through the teleport.
Yeah, I tend to do that when we are redeploying somewhere. That's probably gonna be close range, long range. Switch weapon accordingly.
Yeah, and I've got to say, if anyone listening to this hasn't bought night vision sights on their guns, go out and spend the 30 certs now. You horrible, horrible slackers.
Yeah, I mean that in reality, starting a fresh character, buying a sight for the gun is probably the first thing you should do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it depends what class you get into. You know, all these
Yeah.
guys who are light assault. I mean, just
Yeah, I mean, if
What
you
are you
play
doing?
if you play medic in the beginning, that's a good way to gain certs quickly. Or engineer, by all means, get the meditool, NG2 ammo box bigger.
I tell you what, I made
Or
loads of
maybe
certs
even
was
if you hip fire, sights won't do a thing. So yeah.
on the medic. I made a ton of certs using the area of AOE heal.
Yeah.
And
And
it's
that,
dirt cheap. It's dirt cheap. You know, you get your medical applicators at 2 or 3, you start thinking that's a bit expensive. And then you look at your AoE heal and you go, oh, that's cheap. And you just put it on while you're healing one guy and everyone else gets healed.
yeah, that works.
You know, you start going, look at all these certs I've got. I can buy the next level of Medigun, you know. Quite cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Greedy, I don't want to rob all the time. What else have you got? Come on, come on.
What is your favorite vehicle? What you like to drive?
I think I like driving the Galaxy the most, and after that the Sunday, because it's neat. I like the handling of the Galaxy, flying around, thinking how to approach a base, and Sundays. Yeah, it's so useful to have them. So deploy them. I feel useful having them.
Okay, I'm just
Ew.
adding you to my list here for people who I will call upon for Sundays and gals.
Oh yeah, I have them high sorted. So
You haven't you didn't know how I could pull a Sunday.
I did, but I didn't know he wanted to.
Well, I
he
Oh.
pulled one here the other day. Remember?
I always say who wants to get the Sunday, and usually Haddock goes, yeah, okay, you know, and I'm thinking, does he really want to do it?
No. It's just that I don't always sound enthusiastic.
Okay, all right. So I'll get rid of firepower. There you go, and I'll get rid of Aviatus because he gets stuck a lot.
Are you getting rid of me because I drive into a pile of tanks?
Dude, you're not even on my list.
Oh. Oh yeah, that's why I pull my own.
On my special, do not ask this person to do this list.
What other things do you have on that list when it comes to me? Okay, that list is that long. Okay.
Right, okay, you're not allowed to be a diplomat. You're not allowed to go into other people's team speaks unaccompanied. You're to be heavily monitored on proximity chat, and I'm not allowed to ask you questions about some people from that big country on the east of Europe.
Good.
Okay, so that's the list for Greedy. Sorry,
Can I have?
that was a bit random. Sorry, if you're listening to the podcast, I'm sorry. That's fucking stupid.
That's gonna be edited, isn't it?
Oh, fuck's sake, man! You're cracking me up.
Okay, should we get to the next question?
Yeah, what's your next question? Go.
So my next question is, since we are talking about classes and support, what would you like to be changed or added to engineer?
Well, that was a hard one. I haven't really thought about it, but to be fair, mines in general could probably use some kind of more reliable way of placing them where you want them. Or, yeah, if I say straight out, they should have like a timer, and maybe even like when you place an ammo pack, you get a little green outline to place them where you want them to go.
That's a good
Because
idea.
as it is now, yeah, drop them from ledge or whatever, it can be abused. And is abused by NC and Vano with their omnidirectional mines and shit, so... And we have the lesser quality mine that, yeah, I have gotten like 1 or 2 kills with it. It sucks.
Well, you mean the Claymore?
Yeah.
Yeah, we all look at the Claymore and say, I wish you were a bouncing Betty.
I mean, because running into a room, I can get like, oh, I see the mine that is there, but it's too late because I already rushed into a room and it explodes and kills me. But with the Claymore, it sticks up a bit. It's easier to see.
If I could
In
just
my
say, that's
opinion.
why you need to be a heavy assault. But you can't be heavy assault because you're one of our specialists. But that's why the heavy assault needs to go through the door first, guys. If you're listening, heavies go first so that the important people don't die.
No,
Get that shield up.
I mean, this happens when I'm playing like a non-outfit night situations. So yeah.
Oh well. But anyway, don't take that as meaning you can't get through the door first, you slacking heavies. Haddock is more important than you are if you're a heavy. You got to remember that. Everyone's more important.
But I gotta kill dudes.
No.
Oh,
So-
I'll kill them instead.
On the changes side, beside mines, looking at the NGs, do you feel that maybe there was something I was reading a while ago on the on Reddit? I know it's a terrible place to read things and take them seriously. About engineers getting more or varied deployable item types. One guy had suggested a wall.
I mean, we have an anti-infantry turret, have an anti-vehicle turret, maybe some kind of deployable flak turret. I don't know. Not sure about that one really. One thing I would like to see perhaps is like some kind of AOE repair, something like that. Perhaps some like maybe like a little deployable repair thing. Maybe just
like
an
a
idea
station
of
people can run up to.
what we actually could get. Yeah, maybe. I'm not really sure about it. I haven't thought really about it that much.
Well, the main criticisms of the idea were that people would use them to block doorways.
Oh yeah, that is already an issue with AV turrets. I mean, or anti-infantry turrets in your own warp gate with people griefing and blocking the doors. And at least they changed it after a while, so you could actually destroy empty turrets, and that was wonderful.
Because, I mean, it is a valid tactic, isn't it, in a biolab? If you've got a few engineers, you block the large stairs with a few
Yeah, of
turrets.
course.
I think that's a valid tactic, and I think they don't really want to change the mechanic because of that tactic that's been discovered.
And maybe you could get like a deployable wall or something.
Yeah, with a set amount of hit points that you could just put a couple of C4s on and off it goes,
Yeah, like a force field, a wall or something. Just block doorways and force them to go the other way around.
Yeah.
Or start firing on that to maybe bring in an infiltrator to hack it down or something.
Yeah.
Just give us some ways to like block or make a position defendable. And it probably should be limited to make it so we can close doors or eject a force field or something. Because if you could place them anywhere, it probably would be abused.
Well, here's an idea. It's just straight off, just us talking, okay? We've got the mechanism in there with the Sunday, with no deploy zones when you've got a Sunday nearby. So you put your shield wall thing up and it fills a doorway, but because of the interference from its nanites, you can't have another one within 20 meters.
Yeah,
20.
That could probably work. Because say that you are defending a biolab, place one on the door closest to where the spawn tube. I mean, the teleporter tube up to the generator. Place one in that door, and they have to run around a bit more.
Or they can stand there shooting it and shooting it and shooting it, but you can't repair it. So all it does is it funnels them around just that next door, just for about a minute or two. It's not a massive game changer.
Yeah, I mean that could work, I think.
And then you can't deploy it in the warp gate because you're an idiot if you try.
Yeah, they should make like the warp gate a no deploy zone for that. That's fair.
But I mean, that sort of thing would be excellent. And let's say you've got an AV team on a hill. You put your little wall up, don't you? And everyone comes and hides behind it.
I mean, if you made it like a force field bubble or something, a shield that it can't shoot through, that could also work. Maybe make it like so it costs resources to get them, and carry it instead of mines or something.
It'd have to cost resources. Really would have to cost resources, and you probably have to have a cert line for duration because it would turn itself off after a while, and a cert or a separate cert line instead of not your like the heavy shield.
Yeah, like
yeah. You could probably have nanite mesh and resist types straight away using the same generic information that the heavy shield uses. Wouldn't be a hard thing, I don't suppose.
Well.
Because all it would be a heavy shield that would be deployable in certain places, and would stop other other shields of that type from working.
They might still use the code for the turrets because they are already deployables.
Yeah, they probably.
They
would
have
be.
health, so that would be interesting actually.
That might work. Okay, so Haddock, moving onto your specialists. Why did you go for double specialization?
Well, it was mostly at the time when I went for it. It was because Outfit Knights, do we have a medic? Do we have an engineer? And I just felt that, yeah, I'm gonna specialize in both medic and engineer so I can fill out whatever is needed. Because I felt that it was so useful at the time to be able to do that.
Yeah, so you wanted to add value and sort of and be able to do whatever it was called upon.
Yeah, exactly. And for the same reason, I started up Galaxy's Sounders.
You're a bit of a support monster, really, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, in almost all MMO games I've played thus far, I end up being some kind of support class because I don't fancy myself as being the one-shot kill guy. I don't get headshots that often. I just don't feel that good at actually shooting people. So, but on the other hand, I have gotten I have a good. I feel like I have a good sense of situational awareness in regards to my teammates because I see them on screen. I know their health. I know if they need ammo or whatever. So I feel much more confident in my ability to provide in that department. So
to perform that style of role more than the sort of gung ho, shoot you in the head and run away laughing role.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Really
I still enjoy teabagging Vanus and such, but yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't expecting that one.
It's fun.
Purple person, I teabag you.
I rest my balls on your face.
Dude.
Well, they need some resting. They need to be warmed up a bit, especially on Esimir. And dead bodies are still warm.
I thought you were going to say Norway then. It's, it's
Well,
not that cold. So, yeah, okay, now we've gone over your multiple specializations. I wanted to, you see, I'm trying to get more information for new guys who are joining, because we've got a lot of new guys coming in, lots of new guys, new blood, which I'm really enjoying. It's really invigorating the outfit. But what would you say is the most difficult opposition that you face in a sort of one-on-one when you're an engineer?
Oh, I mean, it depends on situation. Of course, as Scattermax, you won't really take one-on-one in close range. In a bit of a range, if I have my AV turret up, yeah, that can be. I can kill them still, because if I know that they are coming, AV turret up, be ready to shoot them. Light assaults is probably the most problematic one to deal with for me. Jump around in the air, shitting bricks on me and blowing them up. C4 that is, because they can just hover about and drop them.
So basically, Greedy is the most annoying person then, because he's a light assault
specialist, yes. But I
don't. Since I'm TR, I don't care what TR does. I mean, we can, for all I'm concerned, we can go total genocide against Vanu and enslave the NC. Fine by me. TR is my team after all. So, yeah, but when they do it, it's annoying. And I'm sure they find it annoying when we do similar things.
So, maxes you can prepare for, but everyone knows maxes are a right pain in the arse anyway. But it's really the light assault mobility that gets you.
Yeah, that's the hardest thing. Because of course, if they are a bit away, if you see them coming, you can try and hit them in the head or whatever. But yeah, they can. A good light assault will know another way around to you and come and shoot you in the back, and that's what. It's harder to respond to that. Max, you see them, you know that they're coming for a longer time because they're slower. They're probably gonna go heads on or whatever. But yeah, a light assault is. You have to be able to react faster. That's the hard thing.
Okay, there you go. That's a good insight for all you aspiring engineers. Watch out for the little ninja flying bastards.
But where?
Exactly. So, Greedy, have you got any more questions for Haddock, or can we let the poor man go after the best part of an hour?
Just one question.
Oh.
Do you have any ideas or wishes for PlanSide's future? More gameplay specific, as in new continents, new things. Basically, what do you wish for, and do you have any good ideas for anything?
I think
Of that
I would
nature.
like to see like heavy tanks, based more around the style of the Liberator, with a pilot, a gunner, and maybe a secondary gunner on a light machine gun or something. Something like that would be fun to be, because you can have like 4 or 3 of those in a squad, and yeah, it would be fun with that, I think.
Yeah, I like that idea, because I don't really like single-player tanks in any game, because it means that you can a squad of 12 can turn up with 12 tanks, and that's just ridiculously overpowered.
That is too much catering to single players to allow that, in my opinion. I would like to see more focus on team-based stuff.
Yeah, completely. I think it was... Who was I talking to? It may have been Bwop, actually, who was saying that he felt it was too much of a Call of Duty nod or something, or Battlefield, because they have single-player tanks and everyone just wants to race off in their single-player tank.
Yeah, I mean, like all the air things in Battlefield 3 are like single-player only stuff. It feels like,
Yeah.
especially since they have I think they have infinite ammo or something like that. At least in Planet Side, you have to rearm, and yeah, that makes it a bit. You can still handle it, but yeah, still ESF flying around a real Rook, for example.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't fancy that.
He's a lovely guy.
Oh God, I want to kill him so bad.
Oh, he's probably a lovely fellow deep down under that veneer of...
Really, veneer of using lollipods, claymores, and scatmaxes.
Okay. Let's not vent about other people. Be it real Rook. That'd be bad.
I'm gonna shank him.
Okay, that's a target. Okay, well, it looks like Haddock, we're coming to the end of our 4th Goon interview. So thank you very much for that. But we have our final question, and that is: do you lift?
Not on a regular basis, no.
Okay, so you don't employ other people to lift for you. You don't go, no, I'm not lifting because I'm too old, like Bwop does, and you don't do what Slacky does, which is run around in lycra pants.
No, I lift my ass when I have to get out of the shower, and that's about it.
When you do that, you're a sergeant.
Oh, fucking shit. Am I? Putting you on
Dude.
spot.
You are a sergeant. I haven't demoted you yet.
Ah, shit. Back to specialist.
I was thinking back to fucking off. Oh, jeebus.
You know, Mike, when a man loves a woman, they hold hands, and the baby pops out.
They do. They have a special kind of hug when they love each other very much.
Yes. One that lasts for 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Insulting people.